All right, we're going to call the Monday, June 4th Plan Commission to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Knox?
Here.
Commissioner Udell?
Present.
Commissioner Weber?
Here.
Commissioner Jorgensen?
Present.
Commissioner Voskel?
Here.
Commissioner Bruner?
Here.
And Commissioner Markline?
Here.
All present.
Thank you. The approval of minutes are under consent unless there's questions or comments from any other commission members for removal. Seeing none, the approval of minutes are passed under consent. Third item on the agenda, the approval of final plats and certified survey maps and easement releases. There are none to review at this particular meeting. Item number 4, set for public hearing, we have the rezoning of property located at 483-485 North Walnut Street from B2 to R2, and that is set for a public hearing on June 18th, 2018. Second item for public hearing is a conditional use permit request to allow a duplex use at 483-485 North Walnut Street, and that public hearing is set for June 18th, 2018. Our item number 5, old business. Our first item under old business is a public hearing conditional use permit request to establish a temporary paintless dent repair use at 2826 Milton Avenue. Dwayne?
Yes, thank you, Dwayne Sherrick, Planning Director for the City of Janesville. The city has received a request for a conditional use permit from Charlie Cottom on behalf of the current property owner, who is Dick Stockwell, to establish a temporary paintless dent repair operation at 2826 Milton Avenue. The permit would allow the applicant to conduct auto body repair within the existing commercial structure on the property. The existing building is currently vacant, but was originally constructed and designed to accommodate a fully integrated auto dealership, including a service center. The applicant intends to establish what we refer to as a temporary paintless dent repair operation within a portion of that existing structure. And this is as a result of the relatively large number of vehicles within the Janesville community that have recently sustained hail damage from the storm about a month ago. The applicant's request would be valid through September 1 of this year, and that time frame, as designated, is requested by the applicant to accommodate this short-term repair. The site is zoned B4 Business Highway District. The existing structure on the property is approximately 10,000 square feet in area. Again, it was originally designed to allow for auto-related uses, including auto body repair. Based on the Planning Division's analysis of this request, we find the proposal complies with the standards for conditional use permit approvals as they are established under Janesville zoning ordinance. The use is temporary in nature. The site, including the structure and facilities, are designed to accommodate a service garage and auto repair shop consistent with the applicant's use. The use would be for short-term paintless dent repair, and that is of a lesser intense activity compared to commercial auto body repair. As a result, staff is recommending that the Plan Commission approve the conditional use permit request subject to a temporary paintless dent repair operation at 2826 Milton Avenue, contingent upon 2 conditions. One is in compliance with the conditions of site plan review as reflected in our site plan review letter dated June 4, 2018. And secondly, that the temporary use of the site for paintless dent repair operations cease by September 1 of this year unless extended for good cause beyond that time frame. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions of Dwayne from the commission prior to opening the public hearing? Okay. Seeing none, at this time I'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak regarding this conditional use permit to request to establish a temporary dentless, please come up to the podium. And if you could, sir, please state your name and address for the record.
Charlie Cottom, 3624 East Rodemer Road, and I'm just here to answer any questions you may have about what maybe paintless dent repair is or...
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start. I don't know if any commission members have any questions. The question I have for you is the September 1st, 2018 date. And I noticed that that is fine with you as it relates to,
Dick Stockwell has that building leased out starting then,
okay,
so I'd only be able to use it for that period of time.
okay. All right, thank you. Any other commission members have questions for Mr. Cottom? Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak regarding the approval of the conditional use permit request to establish a temporary paintless dent repair operation? Anyone else wishing to speak? Last call, seeing none. Public hearing is closed. Commissioner Jensen.
I would move to grant a conditional use permit to establish a temporary paintless dent repair use at 2826 Milton Avenue.
There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Excuse me, was that Commissioner Knox?
Yes.
Okay, there's a motion by Commissioner Jorgensen, second by Commissioner Knox. Commissioner Jorgensen, you have the floor.
So I've actually had this done before. It's a pretty quiet process. It's not invasive as an actual body shop would be. And with the number of vehicles that have been affected as a Southside resident, I think that this is great to have some more space to be able to do this. So this is a huge win. Plus, we're using a building on our corridor, a pretty busy one in the city. So I can't support this enough.
Thank you. Commissioner Knox?
I'd just like to say thank you for going through the process. I know that others haven't, and I know you're going to be up and running soon. So thanks, Charlie.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. At this time, if there's no other questions, I'd ask that you please vote all in favor. And that motion passes. Thank you and congratulations. Okay, moving on to our second item of business is the final planned unit development to construct 2 multifamily 8-unit apartment buildings as a residential apartment project at 2338 Center Avenue.
Good evening, Tom Clippert, Building Director. Mark Robinson has submitted a final development plans for residential plan unit development consisting of 2 8-unit residential apartment buildings at 2338 Center Avenue. By ordinance, review of the PUDs by the Plan Commission is a 2-step process consisting of a review of preliminary development plans followed by the review of the final development plans. At its April 23rd, 2018 meeting, the City Council voted unanimously to approve the rezoning of the subject property from B2 Community Shopping District to R3 General Residence District. And at your April 2nd, 2018 meeting, the Plan Commission voted unanimously to approve the preliminary development plans for the project subject to a series of conditions. The development plans have been revised to incorporate the conditions and is supported by staff. Pursuant to local ordinance, a public hearing is not required prior to action on the final plans. Also, a certified survey map creating the development site was approved by the City Council at their January 8th, 2018 meeting. The CSM has been recorded, and a condition of the CSM approval requires the demolition of a building that encroaches on the lot line established by the land division. Staff recommends including a condition of the final development plan approval reflecting this requirement. As you can see on the screen, a final landscape plan has been submitted demonstrating compliance with the requirements of the zoning ordinance. Also, the 2 8-unit buildings will be served by municipal sanitary sewer and water main via service laterals to each building. A revised utility plan was submitted on May 30th, 2018 and reviewed, and staff finds that the plan complies with ordinance requirements noted in the site plan review letter dated March 29th of 2018. Additional elevations have been provided depicting all 4 sides. So this is east, north, and then west and south. The building materials will consist of a face of brick veneer, vinyl lap siding, pressure-treated deck and railings, double-hung windows, and asphalt shingles. The size of the patio and the decks will be 9 feet by 5 feet, or 45 square feet, which is well over the required 32 square feet. The revisions of the preliminary plans have been made in response to the conditions established by the Plan Commission. Staff believes that the final development plans for the two 8-unit apartment buildings at 2338 Center Avenue have been prepared in a manner consistent with the terms of the Plan Commission approval of the preliminary development plans, and that the final development plan should be approved subject to the conditions noted. So Building Division recommends that the Plan Commission approve the final development plans and text agreement for the residential PUD containing the two 8-unit apartment buildings, subject to the following. 1, the compliance with the conditions of the site plan review letter dated May 31st, 2018. Recording of the PUD text agreement with the Rock County Register of Deeds. 3rd, removal of the building that encroaches upon Lot 1 and 2 must occur prior to the issuance of building permits, and is also required by the CSM approval of the development site. And 4, submit a revised site plan that provides an elevation view of the proposed refuge enclosure, including materials to be used and height. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Are there any questions of Tom prior to Commissioner Markline?
Is there a concern that that building won't be removed, the one that encroaches on lots 1 and 2? Is that why we have recommendation 3?
We just want to make sure that it is removed and that the applicant knows that has to be removed before building permits could be
Okay.
issued.
That's all I had.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, as Mr. Clippert noted, there is no public hearing, but Mr. Robinson is here if there are any questions of the commission members for Mr. Robinson.
I have a couple of questions for Mr. Robinson. Thank you for coming forward.
I have a feeling I don't have to tell you what you need to do now.
I might need a booster chair.
Your name and
Your name and your
Oh,
address.
Mark Robinson, 5528 North Waterman Drive, Milton.
I just for the record and for my own curiosity, as I looked at this, you're talking about 2 and 3 bedroom apartments. Is that correct?
Correct.
And they're market rate apartments.
Yes.
Okay, and that's good. I guess the question I have is that with 2 and 3 bedroom apartments, I take it that you're anticipating you'll have some families, probably at least small families, moving into this complex?
Correct.
Okay. And the one thing I would just, again, I think a curiosity question is with perhaps children and stuff, were you looking at any other amenities to be located within this complex?
Not at this time.
Okay. I mean, like a playground or anything, nothing like that is being considered?
We hadn't discussed it. We're new to developing 8-unit apartment buildings. The city is new to approving 8-unit apartment buildings. I think they haven't done any since, what, 2006?
Thanks. Yeah.
So the idea was, let's get through this one and see what happens.
Okay.
I own the land directly to the west of this. I own other land in the city of Janesville. That doesn't mean that we won't do something, but there's nothing in the plans right now because we've been trying to go through the process to make sure we do what the city wants us to do in regards to development. Not that we wouldn't be open-minded to that, but I don't think that was something that was required and
No, there was no requirement. I guess just the curiosity of it, I just thought I'd, want to ask you directly and see what you were thinking.
You know, there's always a possibility, like I said, that land directly to the west of this we own. If we are allowed to do more multifamily, maybe you do something between this and the property to the west. We haven't discussed that, but we're open to discussions.
That's all in the future. Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate your coming forward to answer those questions. Like I say, it's basically a curiosity question as I was looking at this. I fully support your plan, and I think it's great that we're getting some good market rate apartments out there on the south end of the city, and it can be nothing but a good thing for us, so appreciate that.
Yeah, sure, thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Udall?
I do, like I said, I just want to echo that statement that I'm glad to see stuff coming in on that south side after growing up not even a quarter mile from there. But also my other question is, all too often I see in apartment complexes with the dumpster enclosures where they're screened, they're enclosed, but all too often the dumpsters get filled up, stuff blows all around. How are we going to make sure everything's held accountable that way and, blowing onto the neighbors' properties and...
I mean, I guess what I can tell you is I'm one of the owners of RK Smith. We manage over 1,000 units in the city. Just today, we did a 5-day notice to tenants at a building that the refuse wasn't in the dumpsters. We try to, as landlords, take pride in what we manage. I think you have to get tenants that also take pride in their surroundings. And so all you do is try to explain to tenants that's the expectations. You know, there's residential property to the west. And I think the idea would be when you're vetting potential tenants, that's part of the vetting process is, are these the type of people that you want that are going to take care of your property, not only from a property owner, but from a tax-paying standpoint? You know, we don't want it to look like a dump, for lack of a better word.
Sure.
But I guess, you know, the other thing is dumpster companies also have a responsibility to pick things up when they are supposed to and take care of their dumpsters. And so sometimes, and I'm not going to name any of the companies in town, but we've had problems with dumpster companies that they bring out dumpsters that don't have lids that stay closed, that they make a mess when they come and dump the dumpsters into their trucks. And so I think that's part of the process, is that we have a responsibility not only to the city, but also to our tenants to have service providers that want to take pride in what they do as well. So we have an interest in doing that. I don't want garbage blowing all over, and so we do the best we can as a property manager to enforce those rules.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Over here.
Oh, Commissioner Markline, I'm sorry.
Does the recommendation number 3, removal of the building before issuing a building permits, cause any practical hardships for you?
No, the tenants that have been in that building were told they needed to be out of the building by the 1st of May. Most all of their property is out of the building. The house was burned down, I think, the first full weekend of May by the city fire department. At that time, most of the junk that was in the building was thrown into the house and burned. It's a stick frame building with aluminum siding. So my employees are, they're organizing right now how they're going to get the aluminum off so they can scrap it, and then we'll take the stick frame away, and then there'll be a slab left.
Okay.
Slab will come out when we go out to dig the basement of the building that was burned down once we have approval on everything we do through the city. So the plan is, you know, as soon as we can get a building permit, we'll take the slab out for that building and take the slab out for the house. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay. Anyone? Commissioner Weber?
Mr. Robinson, I note on your site plan that your driveway extends all the way to the west property line. You stated earlier that you own the property behind there and have at least consideration for perhaps building more units back there. Is that the reason that this is extended to the west property line, so that you would connect the driveway through?
Not necessarily. The reason that's extended the way it is because of the fire department requiring a place to back up their trucks to be able to access that western of the two buildings. Originally, we had talked about possibly configuring the road to go from Court all the way out to 51, but I think from a developer standpoint, we were going to lose so much land. It wasn't going to be beneficial for us to do that. Plus, we would have had to widen the driveway to city street width instead of just what driveway width is. So I do not envision that road going through. But the reason that stubs at the far west property line is because of the fire department requirement.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I think you're done. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Mr.
thank you very much.
Robinson. Okay, what are the wishes of the commission? Commissioner Bruner?
I'll make a motion that we approve the PUD for the 2 8-unit apartment buildings at 2338 Center Avenue, subject to the items listed under the May 31, 2018 memorandum, 1 through 4, and also subject to the site plan review letter.
Okay, there is a motion by Commissioner Bruner. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Weber. Commissioner Bruner, you have the floor.
Just to repeat, I'm glad to see some good and well-planned market rate apartments being built, and I think it's a good thing for the city and a good thing for South Janesville, so thank you.
Commissioner Weber?
I have nothing further.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion and a second at this time. All in favor, please raise your hand. And that motion passes. Thank you. All right, item number 6, new business. There's none to report as of this meeting. Director's report.
Yes, thank you. Included in the Plan Commission packet is the single item that the City Council reviewed on May 29th at their last meeting, which was the approval of the certified survey map for St. Paul's Lutheran Church on Ringgold and East Holmes. Additionally, one announcement, the city would like to announce that on this Friday, June 8th, the outdoor fitness court will be completed, and there will be a ribbon cutting at 1:30 p.m. And the outdoor fitness court is located immediately north of the downtown Janesville Transit Transfer Center at the southeast corner of River and Court Street. So we invite you all to come out and see that and use that. Thank you.
Dwayne, if you could, I realize that the city is a guest, but would you share the upcoming event that's occurring as it relates to kind of multi-use housing, in the fact that the commission hopefully may sometime in the future have some
Sure.
reports to review?
Sure, and what Chairperson Voskuhl is referring to is a housing summit, which will be held this Wednesday afternoon. Will include a number of individuals within, I think, the Janesville development community, including lenders, landowners, builders, real estate folks, public officials, and a host of others that are involved in the residential real estate development business, to sit down and try and identify issues relative to the residential housing market, both low density as well as multifamily, I guess, development conditions in the city, try and respond to what's, I think, become a real demand for additional multifamily housing units in the community, and work through a process to essentially see how the current review process perhaps could be, I guess, improved, or identify a path toward the promotion of additional efforts to expand housing opportunities within the community. I think the session will ultimately address all aspects of residential housing and look at, again, opportunities to see how Janesville fits into the larger market, and how perhaps existing regulations or practices could be modified to accelerate that, that circumstance here locally.
Thank you. I didn't know if other commission members were aware of that, but I'm sure there'll be more discussion moving
Yes,
forward. So, okay, anything else, Wayne?
that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Item number 8, Plan Commission announcements. Any commissioners have any particular announcements? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks.